What do you think is the biggest misunderstanding people have about Christianity today?
Someone with a cross, popular culture has it synonymous with hate. They see it as like a hating thing. And the cross is nothing of hate. It's really a symbol of unconditional love.
Do you think so many people today are deconstructing their faith?
Everybody has their own TV now.
It's like everybody has their own truth almost, even though there's only one truth.
The best lives are all based in the most unshakable truths. You take the most.
Can you elaborate on that?
I train an 11 and 12-year-old. They're both brothers. I train one at a time, each one with one session, another one separately. They're always like, oh, what did the other person do for like push-ups? What did the other person do for this and that?
Yeah.
Don't worry about
much, right?
Don't worry about what he got.
Focus
What
on
can you do?
What'd you get yesterday?
With all of it that we talked about, Christian.
I would probably have a different answer than ones of your age.
All right, are we ready? Okay, let's go.
Word.
Hey, guys.
What?
Go closer.
Why?
They don't understand.
That was like for nothing.
They don't understand the concept of one fist away.
A fist away.
I'm like,
You don't get it? I know you get it. You guys both get it. Don't fuck with me.
hey, watch the language.
Don't F with me.
Watch the language.
I think this is the start. This is the start.
Yeah?
What else am I supposed to add?
Demonetize right away.
No,
Say hi to our audience.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Bros Think Big. We have Christian Ferrari back in the house. It's always a pleasure to have you, my man.
Always a pleasure to be here, gentlemen. Thank you
So
for having
how
me.
you been, Christian?
Doing all right, guys. You know.
Looking fresh. I like the slick back.
I
New look, right?
appreciate it,
New look.
It's like an old new look. It's like if
Get
you've
closer
ever
to the
seen me
mic,
before,
please.
I was just being lazy. I didn't do it, so I'm trying to be less lazy in life and put myself together a little bit.
And you look more Italian now.
Oh,
Italian mafia.
definitely embracing the heritage.
I'm my boss.
Yes, sir.
Definitely
over here.
embracing the heritage.
Yo, Christian, let's get straight into our deep conversations as always, brother.
Sounds good.
What-
It's really good to see you fellas again, man. It's
Yes,
good to
sir.
be back for
Yeah.
Yep.
Heck yeah.
We always
yeah.
love seeing you at church and stuff like that every week.
Oh,
Yeah,
gotta be
and
there,
that's the
man.
thing. Yeah, we get to do that, so that's awesome.
That's the one reprieve from my soul every week, man. It's
But-
been rough out here lately, gentlemen.
It is, bro. And that's the thing. I want to definitely get to that like later on in our conversations because I don't know, looking at things from perspective, like biblical perspective and stuff, and what the scripture speaks to us through the coming days and latter days and stuff. You can really feel the weight, bro. You can really feel the weight on the spiritual depth of what's going on in our world and stuff. And you get to see this every day as you walk with the Lord because He shows you these different situations that you see people are in that has to do with spiritual battle, and not just other people, but our personal lives. What we go through every day, that is a big spiritual battle. Because I think now are the times where we're not in much of a physical type of battles, and we're on a spiritual battlefield right now, a lot. So what do you think is the biggest misunderstanding people have about Christianity today?
So I don't know if it's like the biggest misunderstanding that people have about Christianity, but I think like lately, I think when people see someone wearing a cross, popular culture has finally got to the point where they have seeing someone with a cross, popular culture has it synonymous with hate. They see it as like a hating thing. Like you're going to hate people. You're going to hate new progressive thoughts. And the cross is nothing of hate. It's really a symbol of unconditional love, I think.
Yeah.
So I think that people don't understand that Christians really just have a deep love for the world.
Can you
maybe
turn
not
your
the
mic
world,
a little
the fallen
bit?
world. We have a deep love for people
Yo.
and a respect for the souls
little
of this earth, and we
Yeah, like
love
towards
them
him.
and we want them to prosper. And whether you think we hate you or you don't like what you think Christianity stands for, we just love you and we want the best.
Yo, I am so glad you mentioned that because I think that's like one of the best answers anybody could really give. And I'm being genuine about this specific question is because that is, in fact, the biggest understanding is they look at Christianity as every other religion in the world, but it's not a religion, it's a relationship. That's what
Yes.
people need to understand is that when we talk to people, we don't talk to them from a perspective of I'm better than you. We just try to share the perspective how God has changed us and how we're just different and how everybody can just experience that, where you're just in peace. Anger doesn't necessarily drive you. Anger is something that you're tempted by, but it doesn't drive you. It's not your driving factor. Love is. And through that love comes passion.
Yeah.
And then when you talk to somebody or you try to give them advice, you're also telling them how much of a sinner you are. Mm-hmm. Because you're telling them, yo, this is where I was, and I'm trying to tell you that I see my old self in you, and I'm trying to help you help you to redirect your direction towards God a little bit more.
Very
and that
much
might
so.
come out hateful for them, but in reality, it's all love.
And very much so. And it's like, and remember, talk is cheap and actions mean everything. It's like you can always say stuff to people and like you can have them hear it, but unless they're living it or they see an example of somebody really like living with faith or being a certain way against the way they've been propagandized in their head, like being a kind person, being a care person, a person that shows a lot of care towards humanity. It's it really messes people up that have a certain ideology behind what they think a Christian is. It's like they think that we are maybe here to judge when we're really just on our own conquest to find peace in our lives. And then when an individual finds peace, I think that whether they try or not, if they're really living in their own personal peace, the people around them will slowly be affected and they will be able to help the other people because they help themselves. But we're just trying to find peace and understanding in a world that's full of chaos, I believe.
Amen. Yeah. You said that really well. In a world full of different interpretations of the scripture, how can someone know what's true? Because I don't know, it was a very, very interesting transition. I just asked the question, but it seems like that's what you kind of ended up on is the truth, right?
Yeah.
Seeking that truth.
I'm still seeking truth myself, man. I think
because people have such different interpretations on the
truth
scripture
is a
and
funny
everything.
thing, man.
Yeah.
I really like you
Turn
said.
the mic. Like have it like near you, like literally facing you. Yeah.
Thank you, Mike Master.
Yeah, of course.
My Mike Master.
But you got.
I love you, Georgie.
We want you to be comfortable with it. So maybe what you can do is go push that like that. I don't know.
No.
We don't want you to be uncomfortable sitting there. And
Follow my way. You want me to dance with it?
Yeah, dance with it.
Dance with it.
You can actually do just like pick it up a little bit, like just turn it up.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know,
Like that,
know
perfect.
it
Just
bent like that.
leave it right
That's
there. You're
exactly
good.
where I need it, fellas.
Boom.
Look at you guys.
There you go. Good stuff.
Man, I'm getting professional from amateur real quick with this.
So,
Yes, sir.
so one thing I wanted to mention as we were having this conversation, I didn't mean to like cut off your question
Yeah,
that you asked him and
Yeah,
stuff,
right.
but something that I've been like really thinking about is looking back like sort of through the transition of finding Christ and stuff like that. I begin to see like the more how am I gonna? I already had it in my mind how I was gonna form this. The more that you know is like the more it's like there's a rabbit hole with Christianity. I feel like the more that you walk the path, the more that you realize like the people, who you were when you were not on that path. You just I don't know honestly where I was going with that. I had it fresh in my mind.
We talked about how people have a misunderstanding on what Christianity is, and how people can think that it's a whole different message than what it actually is. Mm-hmm. Like we try to tell people about love of God, and they see it as if we're trying to tell them that we're such good people for believing in God, but in reality, that's not the message.
So before we find the light, we're very, very comfortable in our darkness because we don't know what the light is. I think you're
That's all
trying
we
to
know,
say.
kind of.
So once one finds the light and is able to peek in and walk into it a little bit, if they want to go retreat to their old comfortable darkness, they'll get back there and realize that I'm not nearly as comfortable as I once was because I know better now.
Or sometimes it's just
And
confusion.
that's why ignorance is bliss, they say, because before you know about things, you can't be affected by them. You can't even try to change to be better because you don't even know there's a better to change to.
So I think I remember I was gonna say it like goes off of that. Like the more that I realized when walking with Christ, the more hyper awareness I have for just like everywhere where like I kind of suck in a way. Like
Absolutely.
like I'm so much more hyper aware of maybe the things that I say or the actions I do or like the desires I have in a way.
Right.
It's kind of like a part of me, like I think the dead part of me is kind of like, oh, like I wish I almost didn't know as much as I do now, right? Because then it would be comfortable. But then obviously the Holy Spirit in me is like, I'm so glad I'm here, right? It might suck. Like a lot of times it does kind of like, it's uncomfortable. It's not really just this like comfortable thing being a Christian. It's not like you find Christ and it's just like, oh my God, it's not like a party. I mean, it kind of. I mean,
you're almost explaining like sinner FOMO, bro.
What do you mean?
Like FOMO from being a sinner. You're like, oh man, like all this sinner stuff looks fun in this world. Everybody's doing it, and I'm kind of like a fear of missing out on sin.
Yeah,
because you can't turn back to it. But remember, I before the podcast, I was just complimenting you boys, or not complimenting, but more like admiring the fact that you guys are so young and kind of evolved in your spiritual journey. And all I can say to you with the thing you were just wondering about with like sin and everything, the FOMO, is you're saving yourself so much physical, emotional, and spiritual
You're cutting out because of the mic.
Physical, emotional, spiritual, like anguish and damage, because I wish, like I said, like I wish I realized my body was a temple at your age, like you guys. Whether you might not realize it to the point that I know, but you there's something deep in you guys that made you go, all right, I need to take care of myself. And like you guys are into fitness, into this, and then you're like, all right, now I need to feed my brain something good and my heart and soul something good. I've watched you guys do that over time at a young age, and it's very inspiring.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah.
And you're starting your journey of training right now, right?
My journey's been long and slow, baby, but I keep it pushing forward. That's all that matters. Just don't go backwards. Even if you're taking baby steps, just keep it pushing.
Yes, sir. So in a world with full of like different interpretations of the scripture and people having a different understanding on what the Bible means because of internet and you know a lot of different churches, a lot of different denominations that we have, and everybody just wants to do it in their way, it is really getting confusing for people a lot.
Increasingly.
So how can someone know what's true? Like, what is your way of going about finding the truth? Back to that.
Back to this.
It's a tough question.
I thought we got away from it, bro. I was like, phew. Guess not. Nah. How can someone tell what's true is true? It's truly a good question.
Well, we can talk about that, but we can also talk about the like scriptural part of the Bible.
Okay.
Or we could talk about like maybe different religions that people all try to push out and say, you know, we believe in the truth. Oh no, we do. Oh, and then you know it's us where it's like, oh, we believe in the ultimate truth. It's like we can talk about that first, religions, and then within the scripture. Like, did you experience that maybe in your life where? Because I know your mom learned all the religions, right? Like in depth.
Yeah, she was.
And then she came to the
really
understanding that
to
Christianity
know,
was like
she really wanted to
above
know what was
and
going
beyond
on.
all of it.
So
Yeah.
she had a lot of like life travels because well, my mom's like a healer, so she started, you know, with the woo-woo, new agey stuff because she saw that like the medical industry was not treating holistically, just like popular culture doesn't treat one holistically. Just like religion treats you holistically, mind, body, and spirit. Just like a true nutrition treats you holistically, mind, body, and spirit. The things that I feel that you're supposed to get into in this world and supposed to know about and do and put your time towards is holistic approaches. And I think increasingly in the zeitgeist of today, things are being more like acutely pinpointed onto different things, even in the medical industry. Like, oh, there's specialists for each part of the body, and then they never communicate with each other. So you just got different problems everywhere and not communicating the whole thing. And I think that's the way it is with government, with politics, with everything. I think everybody's skewed and confused and fighting with different ideals. And I think we got ourselves a fun little cluster F, as we would say.
So you're pretty much saying that there's just so many different, little things, that they have systems in where it's hard for somebody to only fall back on something that is simple or like one or two things. It's always like, okay, I got to go to this specialist, that specialist to understand what's really wrong with it. But then there can be a very simple solution to it. Oh, and people just don't know. Is that kind of where you're getting to?
Right. Yes. And to go back to what you're saying, because I went off on like a tangent about that. Like with my mom, she studied a whole bunch of different religions, cultures, because like around the mid part of her life, she realized she's like, I want to find out what the truth is. Why, like, and she studied Hinduism. She studied different.
She studied Islam
different
too,
yoga
right?
cultures, different Bhagavad Gita, all the stuff, and she finds that Christ is the most pure, and also, I like Christ is the most quoted prophet in the Quran. You know what I mean? Christ is around other religions, like so he.
It's like he's the base of all the religions, but it's not really about
the ones
him.
that don't want to admit that he is God. Well, he's obviously at least important in their religion, so that's to say something, I think.
For sure, yeah. What do you think so many people today are deconstruction? Sorry.
Good, brother.
Why do you think so many people today are deconstructing their faith?
Because I think there's too much information out there.
What do you mean by that? Like, what do you mean by deconstructing?
So that confused me too, and I asked ChatGPT, and it's like when people are hurt by religion or hypocrites, or they just have misinformation, they don't know how to properly maybe understand the Bible and stuff. They're trying to deconstruct their faith to break it down and somehow make it
work for them, like mold the faith to them,
exactly.
not to God.
Yeah, that's another thing too, is mold it to their own perspectives and their own beliefs.
Their own
exactly,
will.
And not really seek for what it actually is. Do you know what I mean?
And that goes back to, you said earlier in the pod, you said Christianity's not a religion, it's a relationship.
Right.
So the relationship is the important part. Yeah.
So, Mike, this is what it gave me. So, lack of biblical foundation, maybe. So many people deconstruct because they were taught rules, not relationship. When life hits hard, shallow faith crumbles. Church hurt and hypocrisy. People have been wounded by Christians or religious leaders. And instead of separating God from men, they reject both. So these type of stuff. So people are constantly in this battle, spiritual battle of reconstructing their faith and trying to understand where can I stand when I see all of this hypocrisy, all of these things around me that I can't comprehend, such as injustice in the world, or things that are like depression, people being so suicidal, people committing suicides, and us having so much knowledge and access to this information that we are able to see these numbers are just going up and up every year and every month, and we just don't know how to, I guess, reconcile with that. We're saying, okay, God was real, why is all this happening? And then people get lost in these thoughts, and they're just keep on trying to reconstruct.
Everybody's trying to catch a fallen world. It's rough.
So I've also noticed.
What do you mean?
Catch a fallen world, like try to catch it and save it and make sense of it.
Oh,
when it's just a fallen world,
you can't, right?
that we're here just for a short time and going along our journey, and we just want to glorify God and make it back home, man.
We're just enduring here.
Everybody's really posting up and really putting all their eggs in the basket of worldly glory, and it's not good, and it's very promoted now through the internet. The new age of the internet is a crazy thing. Like, we're like all through history, like civilization is little villages and little societies that all get along and help each other and just worry about the history and culture of that area and their families and their friends, and they help them get along and live. But it's like, really, everybody shouldn't know the news of every little town across the world and every tragedy, because news doesn't report good things, it reports bad things. So everything that's reported, we don't just get the bad news of our area, we get the bad news of our country, then the bad news of a different continent, and the bad news of the world. And
it can be
everybody's
overwhelming.
just swallowing monumental
on your soul,
sorrow.
right?
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
it's just weighing on people's spirits. I feel like it's because it's just, and then usually tragedy will come and go, and you have the trauma and you get over it, you process it and go, and the internet's just pasting realities forever, immortalizing shame that people would just keep on going back to and keep on getting re-traumatized with.
I also think that people have lost. I don't know what the word would be for it, but like being based, right? So I feel like people
Grounded.
are now exactly like they're like, because there's a lot of information. People start to take those small informations from everywhere and just say this also makes sense just as much as this one. But they need to understand that like one is truth and the other one is a lie. You know what I mean? So what people do is sometimes they put those lies and they try to fit it in that truth, and that's where they get confused.
Because a lie can make sense.
Yeah.
but it's a lie.
All
Yeah.
the best lies are based in truth, gentlemen.
Yeah, like you need to.
All the
People
best
need to
ones.
understand that when you're based and you know that, look, this is the truth. It's very hard for someone to lie to you. But when you're this person, naive person, and then everybody can just come up to you and put these lies in your brain.
Yep.
And let's be honest, Satan can really do that very easily, and can play on our weaknesses, right? Almost.
Yeah.
Send people at us almost like to drive us in a way that's gonna be away from Christ and not closer to Him by the misinformation spread in the world.
Absolutely.
So if you're gonna be one of those people that are just gonna be like, okay, look, I need to be open-minded about. I mean, like I feel like open-mindedness is very, very good, but at the same time, you also have to have some bases that you're not gonna step over, right? I'm like that. I have my boundaries that I'm not gonna step over,
Right.
no matter how much you want to make it sense, because it will never make sense. But when you're this type of person, you're like, okay, it can make sense. You can really lose yourself.
Right.
That's
That's
just
why
what I
I
think.
really like what you just said. This is why I've thought about that before, and I have like a system where I'm a curious person. I like to talk about anything. I'll put no boundaries on a creative conversation.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I will let my brain believe anything and get taken for a ride, but I'll never believe in anything. I have things that I believe in that are my beliefs that are core, but I will let my brain relax and take a ride to try
Take
to
the
see
mic.
where someone's
Speaking to the mic.
and take a ride to try to see where someone's coming from. Not just shut them down right away. Goes, oh, no, that's not my beliefs. I can't talk about. Why are you talking? No. What do you got to say? Maybe it's something that I can use for a further argument down the line. Maybe it's something I can learn from you. Maybe it's something you can learn from me. You just gotta stay open. People get their algorithms and they think that that's the truth. And like back in the day, everybody has their own TV now.
Yeah,
Back
right?
in the day, everybody waited to watch the same show on Friday night. Now everybody's watching their own shows at their own time, and no one's on the same page.
It's like everybody has their own truth almost, even though there's only one truth. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's
that
crazy.
was said beautifully. So.
Yeah, thank
It's
you,
almost
bro.
like back then it was easy to like program people too and push an agenda when there was just
Right,
like one TV, one broadcast, one station versus just multiple now. That's why you see so much maybe divide. There's less groups, it's more individuals. Like maybe back in the day there used to be more just like actual groups and like nations, if you would say, and then nowadays just like you're your own nation, that's it.
Yeah,
because of that.
exactly.
Absolutely.
They're isolating you.
Isolated nations.
Go closer to the mic.
Isolation.
Mike?
Isolation nation.
Christian, I heard you say the best lies have the biggest truth in them.
The best
Do you mind-
lives are all based in the most unshakable truths. You take
Really?
the most.
Can you elaborate on that?
So you can take something you know always as true in stone, and then you take that base, and then you warp your lie around it. You know what I mean? Like
make it
say,
sound good.
I'll take a small example. Like say in a kitchen, say I'm working with a kid, and I know he always does a certain job a certain way.
Right.
And I know he's good at it. And then, a half a year goes by. I don't even have to tell him. I'll be like, yo, you take care of that thing? He goes, yup. I check on it. It looks perfect. Say one day he messes up and doesn't want to admit it or whatever. And I go, hey, did you mess up that thing? And he goes, no. Of course I'm going to believe him because the truth is based in him always doing good. But he lies to me, I'm going to believe him. So it's like I'm going to believe that lie based in an absolute truth that I know.
Okay.
So there's better examples. That was a bad
Yeah.
example. There's better examples.
So yeah, how I'm trying to understand it is like people are fed so much things in one way over a period of time for so long that when it changes, people don't even see the change because they've just believed that it was the truth the whole time.
Especially if the change was gradual and not all at
Right.
once. If the change is gradual and you do like little things over time, you don't even notice that you're in a different place. Like you ever stand in the ocean as the tide goes out, you're like, did I move? You're like, no, I didn't move, but the water's gone. But I'm just standing ankle deep in sand. Like what happened?
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's kind of like what we can kind of reflect on and see how people have been so distant and so separated from each other, and that's just a fact. I mean, anybody can say, no, I still have close friends and everything, but I mean, if we reflect back on history and how people lived and how people were close to each other, we've definitely lost that. So I think it's I personally noticed that after COVID the most. COVID was the biggest way to separate people gradually. And it hit so
bad.
fast, so all of a sudden,
Not just
people are
separated,
just
but also
separated.
fed lies. That's the time when they
They
spread
indoctrinated.
out
lies, yeah.
biggest lies to the world, the biggest.
When people
I mean,
are
whatever they
scared,
could.
that's when people
Believe
people are
that-
most
yeah.
susceptible to lies and bullspit
When they're scared.
when they're scared and when
Yeah.
fear is involved. And that's what they did. They, on a huge scale, scared the whole world. And now they're like, hey, let's feed them a bunch of lies.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's feed them a bunch of, no, not even lies. Let's feed them a narrative that it is in our interest for them to believe because we will become monumentally rich and or powerful.
Yeah.
And that's what, the upper echelons do. So it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat, Republican, transhumanist, or a globalist. There's still people that run this whole world. And that's a whole nother podcast.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, and that's where I am getting to a little bit closer and closer is because that thing about separation is I feel like a lot of things, good things, came with social media and AI, but then there's this side that's coming towards us that we need to be very aware of this separation. And I take that to heart just because when there's so much information that you don't even need anybody's help anymore. You have everything. All you have to do is just open up the phone and just search it up. You will get everything you want.
Yeah.
You don't need to call your friend anymore. You don't need to
It's
go
and that's
go
bad.
across the
No more
the
seeking
street.
counsel. No more
Right.
seeking
No-
counsel
no
from
more
your
of that.
neighbor. That's crazy.
Exactly. No more personal relationships.
Just talk
now
to
it's
your
an
pocket.
AI telling you the answers,
So
and it's a separation from people, and it makes somebody weak. Genuinely makes somebody weak.
And not just physically, if you think about it, because I mean,
Yeah.
physically it can make you weak because now you become lazy to, I guess, instead of like going to somebody's house, right? Now you can call them and stuff, right? Obviously, it's
Convenience.
convenience, yeah. But at the same time, that can also take away a lot of the things that that's done more naturally. That's better, like talking. to
It's
someone
a
in
personal
person.
relationship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in person than just talking over the phone. I forgot what I was gonna say other part about that, but you can go. I saw you writing some stuff down.
Well, yeah. So
'Cause I forgot what I was gonna say.
What you guys were just talking about just now, it made me think about Google and like World Wide Web when it first came out, like the search engine. We were like the search engine. We knew it to be true. Like we type in whatever, and it's gonna give us the answer. So over time, we were conditioned to say, hey, Google's going to tell us the unequivocal, non-biased answer
Right.
to whatever I'm asking. And then over time, we found that whoever pays for whatever will have their thing come up to the top. If you type in like axes, your axes will be sold first. So you paid to get to the top of the line. And then also now DEI and different politics and different social things are at the top of the line, because that's what is the propaganda wanting to be pushed on the people. So if that happened to Google over time, think about Google. Everybody says, Google it. Like Google is the absolute truth to everything.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and now and now we're just being lied to over time because it was the truth in the beginning. So now AI is turning into this awesome tool everybody's using, everybody's trusting. In 5 years, AI is going to know everybody trusts it, and it's going to walk you right off a friggin' ledge.
Yeah, it's gonna lie to you now because you're now trusting it.
Or feed you propaganda or whatever it wants you to believe on, and it'll be really bad because instead of like, you know, just to a country or a society, it'll be on a global scale.
Dude, one thing with when it comes to like the information side of things. Oh, no, sorry, I looked at the thing. But what I was gonna say is that the whole thing with Google, like back in the day when they didn't have Google, they have internet. Who did they rely on to give them information? It used to be like the leader of like whatever it was. It could have been the leader of a church, leader of a town, the teacher in the school, the leader of the army, whatever it is. And so it's like nowadays when we look at, okay, how do we find the truth? How do we understand the truth? And you're not supposed to find the truth all the way. Like like I don't think you're ever going to be like, this is like the truth. Like you can have like conviction, but you'll never find the truth through man, in a sense. That's why you need omnipresence, omnipotence to understand these things. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
The Bible is a mystery. Like Paul already talks about how it's like a mystery.
How long has it been around, and how much are people still studying it in awe?
Yeah, exactly. And people think, if it's not laid out perfectly for me, like ChatGPT does and Google does, then I don't want to believe it. It's just like you're just ignorant.
They're training lazy minds. Kids don't even go to school the same anymore. You don't even have to study in textbooks. They'll be taking their tests with their phone on their lap. They don't know nothing. I'll be talking to these college kids, and I'll be like, "What's up, bro?" They'll be like, big, bro." They just like make sounds at me like cavemen. I'm like, "Oh no!
We're regressing."
They're not even used to having conversations, right?
It's big. They're socially awkward because they're used to being on screens. And then I'll text them, and all of a sudden they have a personality. But like, what?
Yeah, that's a very interesting.
That's what I was gonna say.
I'm talking to you, and then I text you, and then you're what?
Yeah,
very funny stuff.
I remember what I was gonna say.
interesting.
I was gonna say that. You know how I said the physical part about like Google making people lazy now?
Yeah.
Now there's a second part of it which is mind, right? Like they want to destroy their minds. They want to take their almost like intellectual mind that God gave everybody away from them and make like kind of almost replace it with technology. You know what I mean? Like imagine now all the things that you can think about by yourself and you can come to the understanding of the truth. Now you're kind of instead of doing it natural way, now you're just relying on Google to give you the truth.
Right.
When you can find and seek it on your own. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is
Google used
crazy.
to tell us the truth. Now it tells us what it wants to tell us. AI is telling us the truth right now, and I'm pretty sure when we all rely on it, it's gonna tell us what it wants to tell us.
Yeah, like it thinks for you basically. Like you don't even think for yourself. It thinks for you.
Yeah. Why would you think for yourself? That's hard.
Yeah,
it's
like
hard, bro.
Thinking is hard.
You gotta put in effort.
Yeah.
What? Effort.
Yeah, right. What's gonna save me
robot's
time,
gonna
bro?
work out
Time is
for
money,
you, bro. Strap in the machine to work out. They're just gonna work you out, and you don't have to do anything. Sit in front of the TV.
Bro, remember
watch Instagram reels.
Remember they had this thing like you put it on your abs. It was like like it would vibrate.
Electric shock, John.
Yeah, and then that was gonna give you abs. Like that was crazy.
Yeah,
that was people relied on that.
That was hurting people.
Instead of having a good diet, working out, running, they relied on that.
Yep.
I mean, and then they realized that it was BS.
To help you if you're already working. Sorry to step on you.
Yeah.
It is a tool to help you if you're already working. But when you rely on a shortcut, you will always fall short.
Yeah,
dude, right. I feel like the more that we dive down the path of convenience, the more empty humans will be, and eventually you'll just be so automated and botted that you're just going to be what do they call like an incel? They call it an incel? No, not incel. It's called
incel,
like some.
Incel means you don't get laid.
Yeah,
and you don't. Got
it's not incel. It's
you have no hope to.
It's I forget what it's called. You're pretty much botted, right? So I feel like definitely as people get more, as things become more convenient, there's gonna be such a huge divide. People who are almost awake, and people who are just botted completely. There'll just be two people. Like it's almost like slaves in a way.
Kids are growing up in the
Slaves
metaverse, dude. They don't even know how to like.
We're getting to it.
Dude, the fact that they just throw a kid a phone younger and younger now, and just because you don't want to like engage with your kid or you're busy and you're doing whatever, dude, that's So bad, man.
Dude, sometimes I hop out of like a dopamine scroll or something like that, like, and then I would just look around and be like, "Wow, like where was time? Where did time go?" Like, and like the phone, just like it's almost like you look at this like Black Mirror and just like, like your mind just gets like taken on like a trail, and like it's almost
and you
like
feel so weird, right?
You
when
feel
you
like
get off,
yeah, you feel like
empty.
You just feel empty, but like you just can't even like feel though.
It
you know
feels
what I'm saying?
like you just watched
the moment,
porn or
yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Like the feeling after like you watch porn and you finish, you're like,
Dude, you know,
I'm the worst person in the world.
Dude, I'll tell you
It's
what,
the same thing,
I'm
but
so
worse.
glad that like I found Christ because of the fact that I have this type of conviction to be hyper aware of these things, because I feel like people, like they might hear us talk about the phone, the Google search, technology, VR and stuff like that. They'd be like, yeah, like, well, what are these guys talking about? But like deep down, like every single human being feels this type of emptiness, but no one wants to talk about it because it's hard to talk about.
And
it's
honesty
uncomfortable.
too.
And it really wraps right around to it's a spiritual battle.
Yeah.
These are all things coming to take your mind and your energy and your heart off of what it should be focused on.
Yeah, and honestly, like when you frame it like that, like it as like a battle, like you begin to like look around and on all the things that are like taking all your energy.
Do you not see the casualties all around us from this battle? It's not even a battle anymore. It's a war, and it's bloody, bro.
Yeah,
It's bloody out here.
yeah.
I feel bad.
To go back to the thing with like kids, you know what I mean? Like now, it's like they think it's a good idea to give a phone to a kid because it will make them smarter, like literally in quotes smarter, just because they can search up something and find it right away.
Yeah.
But they have to understand that when a kid reads something from the book, it's a different knowledge that it soaks in there. Now from the screens, I feel like I've had that too. When I've watched a video, I've remembered it probably for a day, 2 days, 3 days, right, max. And then you forget. When you read something from the book, your mind works differently.
Absolutely.
Like your mind is literally like, it's like an exercise. It soaks all the information in, and that's why people that read a lot, they're smarter than people that just watch videos. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's those information get
It's
lost.
an instant knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. But then the information that you get from books, especially at a young age, I mean, we have to think about this. When someone's young, they're able to actually remember things way faster than someone that's grown up. So why not use that when they're little kids? Why not kind of give them that advantage to give them books to read instead of giving technology?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
'cause
and it sucks that they can't notice these things and they're not aware of this. This is the biggest problem. They're not aware of this.
Some are in there, they ignore it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
of
your
course. That's even worse.
their cognitive elasticity. You are
Elasticity.
making
Or
smaller and
plasticity, I
smaller.
think.
Cognitive plasticity. It's
Something
either
like that.
elastic,
Neuroplasticity or something.
Yeah, but you're shrinking that on the child, and you don't. If you're just, dude. So when people are addicted to drugs, like say a man has 3 dopamine receptors in his brain, right?
Yeah.
So drugs and technology work the same. I find they play on the dopamine and serotonin in your brain.
Like the emotional side of your brain,
Yeah,
right? Before it's the logical
it's
part.
the reward pathway. Serotonin is the reward pathway of your brain. It's
Yeah.
what makes you feel good and feel bad. So, say you are born with a certain amount of dopamine receptors, and your brain has the natural amount of dopamine to feel normal and be and get happy when you're supposed to get happy and not be excited when you're not supposed to be excited. Say you're a man that goes through a drug addiction, like say cocaine. You do cocaine and all of a sudden your brain makes so much more dopamine than it's supposed to, like literally like 1,000 times more, that your
It's
brain,
unnatural.
It's not natural. And your brain has to create more receptors
Yeah.
to collect the dopamine.
Yeah.
So
And
when,
now the natural things don't almost like fulfill it. So now you need something above it.
right, so
which
now
can become
the
unhealthy.
receptors don't go away fast. The dopamine
Yeah.
goes away fast. It takes the dopamine
yeah.
receptors like a year to get back to normal. So
Makes
like
sense.
say if you got addicted to a drug, you put all these extra dopamine receptors in your brain, but now when you don't have the substance or the drug or the technology, you have more dopamine receptors than your brain can naturally fill, and you're uncomfortable. And that's what addiction is.
Yep.
Interesting.
That's a great way to say it.
That is scientifically what addiction does to your brain.
Yeah.
So how does somebody
In any way, shape, or form, a technology addiction, drug addiction, sex addiction, money addiction, greed, work addiction, anything. That's what happens in your brain.
So how does one kind of backtrack and I guess lower those receptors?
You have to
Step back?
discipline
Right.
over time. Like for drugs, it literally takes a year of being sober for your brain to start to recover.
So that's when the real recovery starts.
Yeah. Like after a year of not doing anything is when you're actually starting to heal. Like, so it takes very long for the receptors to get back to normal. Sometimes never completely do. But so that's why you don't want to flood your brain with dopamine. And that's what you're doing to a child when you give them the phone at a young age.
And they're surprised when
And they're
they
going to
grow
have
up why they like
anxiety
this.
and depression through their whole life now. Anxiety and depression never existed 20 years ago.
Yeah.
There was no, what?
There was no technology.
Yo.
But I mean, it existed, but in a way less degree.
It wasn't accessible as easily.
Mental health didn't exist 25 years ago. This is a new thing that got huge, and now they're using to control people and tell them. And now everybody's self-diagnosing on the internet and saying they need ketamine or they need anything. They need SSRI because they're just
Dude, imagine
adding all these things into the world to screw up the children of God. So.
Dude, imagine how crippling it is to just like see people have everything that you have, and it just totally ruins you. Imagine how many times you scroll and you see all these people. They have, like, let's just say, like, a better physique than you. They have more money than you. They have a good-looking girlfriend. They do more stuff than you. Imagine like what that does to your brain. Like, it almost like puts you lower, like, subconsciously than you actually are. It makes you feel like I'm not enough, I'm not worthy. And I feel like that's how people just like they don't ever exceed themselves because they're always comparing themselves to other people. And they go like, oh, there's a huge gap, I'm down here. But then you don't look at them. That's why, like, the whole saying with self-improvement is like, be better than you were yesterday or something like that.
Yeah,
like
you're
1%
only going
better.
towards
The whole
yourself.
Kaizen thing. It's like you can stack up onto this guy, right? The person who you were yesterday. But if you keep trying to bridge this gap up here, guess what? You'll never hit it. You always feel like you're never worthy. And that's almost like
a bigger fish.
That's almost like the relationship with us with like Christ. Almost, it's like we try to reach this like ideal, but that's I think it's a little bit different because we know, like, Christ says, like, Christ kind of knows, like, you'll never be able to be like that.
You're not going to reach Christ consciousness, but you strive to every day be a little bit better and more Christ-like as you can.
Yeah.
To help the world. Yeah, it's.
Do you think with
and
that
comparison is the thief of joy. You've heard that?
Yeah.
Comparison is the thief of joy. You have no joy if you're comparing yourself to not yourself.
I think it depends on the type of comparison sometimes.
It's true.
Because if it's like an envy, if enviness comes out of it, greed comes out of it, then it's just not good. But yeah. What were you saying?
I was gonna ask you, like, for example, if somebody was to, like, you know, like what you mentioned was, I 100% agree with how people like compare themselves with people on social media because they want to have things that they don't have, and then they see somebody else have it, and they want to kind of also have the same things, right? Would you say that someone that has a mindset that doesn't really strive for that things, you think if they watch that too much, they could get trapped in that type of mindset because that's kind of what they're feeding on?
Like, are you saying that if they
Like, let's just say someone's not really like that, but because they are using social media and I guess scrolling too much on there, you think that could affect them or no?
Scroll 100%, like, affect their reward system, or like,
Yeah, like, you think they could like now become this type of people now?
I understand his question. Should I reframe, or are you gonna?
Yeah, I'm not really trying. I don't think I really understand
Okay, go ahead.
the question that much.
And let me know if I do it right. So
Don't
he's
make
pretty
fun
much
of
trying to say somebody who is not envious towards what somebody has materialistically or whatever. Do you think that in enough time, if they keep on consuming the content on being better, they will fall into that same temptation of trying to be where that guy is, and then after him there's somebody else, and then just, even though they never really had the desire in the first place to ever envy somebody in a level of, I want to be, you know, at that level, at that as that guy's, whether that be financially or, you know, for example, in their fame or whatever that may be, and the more they consume, the more they fall into that trap of, I want to be better than other people. I want to be better than him. I want to be at that level, and then that will sweep you and take you.
I think it'd be different if, like, you're constantly just like, you're on social media looking at the same people, the same role models, influencers all the time, and like you're always just there watching them all the time, but you're not doing anything with that at all. It's like watching a self-improvement video or some podcast or business podcast and like walking away with nothing. That's the same way you do with scrolling. Like you might as well go scroll because you're not doing anything with it. Like you're not intentional about getting better. You're just looking at these people and like gaining dopamine from that. Because like it almost makes you feel like you achieved something. Like you see maybe someone, you could either run with that and be like, let's just say like you watch someone, he bought his mom a house or bought his mom a car and stuff like that. And you feel the emotions of that person buying them a car. It's like you already feel that feeling already. And it's going to almost leave you empty because it didn't happen for you.
Yeah, versus the person why can't I do that?
Versus the person who watches it, turns it off and be like, I want to like, or just runs with that themselves, and they say, I want to buy my mom a car or something like that.
No, no. The reason why I ask is because a lot of people oftentimes say, listen, I don't have that mindset. Everybody's like in a self-improvement. That's how everybody started, right? Yeah. Everybody started as, it's me versus me. You know what I mean? Which is good. Now, because they consume this type of content, then from my perspective, when I see people on social media and they're like influencers, those are the people that kind of trap you into that mindset. Now, because you follow those people that are not actually preaching what they do type of thing, now you become one of them. Yeah. One of those fake influencers, one of those people that are, instead of you now versus yourself, now you want to be like them, be ahead of them, and you want to replace them.
And those are people that have a God complex because they want to be worshipped almost. They want to be listened to. They will judge people.
So something I would say is that right now I train an 11 and 12-year-old. They're both brothers and stuff like that. I'm sure you guys, when I say this, you guys can kind of relate to this because you guys are brothers. That's but cool. I train one at a time, each one with one session, another one separately. Right. And I kind of like run through like the same things, but they're always like, oh, what did the other person do for like push-ups? What did the other person do for this and that? And sometimes I tell them, sometimes I don't, because I feel like there's a fine line between, oh, what did my brother get? I want to get better than that. Like that's good, but eventually it's like, oh, what did he get? What did he get? It's like, don't worry about what he got. What can you do?
What you get yesterday?
Especially with the older one. The older one, who's a year older, I barely tell him because he's the older one. It's like, you shouldn't be trying to. You should be better. Like you should almost get better numbers than your brother in a way, right? Because you're a little bit older. Yeah. Obviously, I'm not gonna put that type of pressure on like a 12-year-old, right? Yeah. So,
but it's natural. It's something natural.
Yeah, but something natural. It's like you should look at yourself and try to be better than yourself from last session, not your brother. Because what you're gonna do, I told him, is that you're gonna cap yourself right here at where your brother's at, and just go a little bit higher than that when you could have just gone so much farther. Right past I tell him that. So. It's the whole idea with comparison and like it really depends what you do with it, right? Because that little brother can look at the older brother and be like, oh, like, what did he get? What did he get? And I feel like as a younger brother, like you should almost like.
And then you kept yourself based on other people's results rather than what you can actually, what potentials you truly have, and you don't give yourself that space to discover your full potential. Because you're so focused on other people's limits.
Yeah, it's like reaching. It's like running a marathon. Like you already know, like you're at first place, and you're just cruising instead of running it faster than. Yeah. Like instead of beating the record, like you're just trying to beat the other people behind you, right? You're trying to beat these guys behind you when you should just almost like beat like the timer, or like a better ideal.
Yeah. So, and that's why, like Christian, what do you think when people are in always constant places where they don't see anybody doing better than them in any way, or to think that they're at the best place, what can those people do in their day-to-day life to challenge them enough to become
if somebody's better? You're saying if somebody's in a place in their life where they've kind of almost reached like mastery in whatever they're doing, and if they don't see anybody better around them than themselves, that means they are being too comfortable, and they're in an area in which they need to move on and not be the best in the next area and overtake the next. It means they're just lingering.
Like what could they do?
They're lingering at that point. Yeah. Unless you're being a teacher, you're not learning, because that's the best way to truly learn. When you master something and then you teach it, that's how you reinforce all your knowledge.
Yeah, we talked about that last time. I remember.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So, and then becoming a student again, right? Because there's always somebody that's a teacher. So placing yourself in a situation where now you're the teacher, you're the student, will ensure you that you're also growing after somebody who is better than. Like that happens a lot in sports. Is if you are constantly the best person in your own, environment. This is what you're doing, and this is a fact. You are strengthening other people around you, but you are not sharpening yourself. and that's just what happens. So this is one thing that we noticed doing sports and stuff. So
I've done that in many kitchens as well.
If we had a mindset at our dojo where we were like, okay, I got to be the best here, what would happen is we would do the worst at the tournament. You know why? Because when you're trying to be the best at a practice, you're not really trying to challenge yourself enough to lose. Therefore, you're not growing. And then you go on at a competition and you verse somebody that is just above your level because you never versed anybody that was above your level to challenge yourself. So you're not used to that challenge. You lose. So you have to go in the mindset of trying new things, losing to somebody who is weaker than you because you've just experimented with something.
Exactly.
And you fell. So therefore, when you go to a tournament, that's not something new to you.
Right.
You've always been adapting and you've always been sharpening. Otherwise, you're just,
And even if you're a complete professional or a complete whiz at something, never expect to be the best or expect to win because that's how you get disappointed, man. And usually when you're walking around expecting something is when God throws the opposite in your face just because expectations.
Almost, right?
You got to be humbled. Expectations lead to disappointment. And if you're walking around setting up a disappointment, you're going to grab one.
Yeah. So,
For sure.
Something I want to talk about to back off of like this whole conversation is talk about stumbling and like the problems that God puts in our lives.
Yeah.
So I really truly do think God really does put us through problems in order to grow in our faith. He tests us through. He's not God's not the author of evil, but he definitely I think lets us like fall down a little bit, like bruise ourselves, but because he knows he can always pick ourselves up. As far
he's
as
like in charge, but he steps back because he knows what's coming next.
Like a good father watching his son fall down. What's the mother do? Run right to the kid that falls and goes, "Oh, my baby, you're gonna be all right." The father goes, kind of nudges him with his foot, like, "Get up," and then fall again, and get up again. Because that's how you're gonna make it through life.
And you gotta have that balance.
Yeah.
I want to ask a question, like probably
That's
like
why
all you guys.
return to the father.
Maybe we can answer this. Like, what does stumbling look like to you guys? And then what do you do from there to get back to God? Like, Christian, why don't you go?
Stumble.
He's the
Like,
good.
what does stumbling look like for you? And then what do you do?
I mean,
Lately.
I've stumbled in so many ways in my life, So when one stumbles, it's purely, no matter how bad you stumble, if you just get back up, no matter what you do after that, really doesn't matter as long as you get up and try to move forward again, no matter what kind of momentum you had before the stumble. Because one thing you always got to realize when you stumble is your mind doesn't erase. Even though you stumbled and you were doing something good for a while, you've gained a whole bunch of skills and you've gained a whole bunch of experience, which that fall does not take away from you. When you get back up, you're a better man. You've died and been reborn. You've died and been reborn. Millions of ego deaths in our life. That's how we better ourselves.
Yeah.
How have you experienced ego death in your life, maybe?
Millions of times, bro. You don't got enough time for me to say all that.
Yeah. But what does that look and feel like for you?
What does it look and feel like? Oh, man. I mean, from being a top culinarian in culinary school in my class and then going to like Skills USA's and competing with other top culinarians in the tops of classes and realizing, yes, I'm very good, but I'm not the top of the top of the top, and you get your ego knocked down. Or even back in the day, I used to play a lot of video games, and I'd be really good. I'd beat all my friends. You go to an arcade or go to some kind of event for a game, you get your butt whooped, and you're like, oh, humbled. These things happen so much, and they happen in huge, significant ways, and they happen in insignificant ways. All throughout life, bro.
Mike, you know what else is interesting too? Is when we
as long as you grow from them.
We went to the playground. Like that just made me think on how many kids nowadays are probably, I'm just guessing, are not interested in that anymore, and all they're interested in.
It was empty, pretty much, right?
It was.
Well, it was kind of early, but it's no
yeah.
excuse.
But you'd be surprised. I think a lot of the kids are right now glued on their phones and they're doing everything that has to do with competitiveness on their phones rather than outside at a park or something.
Them
And
kids ain't
usually
coming out the house.
putting
Who can
themselves,
play video games better? That's what their competition is.
especially putting themselves in dangerous situations like that park was. I think for a young kid, that was a challenging course. Like me and you, we're 21. You're turning 21 soon. Yeah, but the idea is for us, those were small courses. But
Yeah.
for let's say a 10-year-old, that's a gigantic course. They have to literally jump to the fullest to get the full stretch just to hang on the monkey bar.
Yeah.
For us, it's just a grab. So when they put themselves in those situations, they gain confidence that when they fail, eventually they will get it, and they're like, "Oh, I can do this." So they take themselves through the actual experience in reality that they have accomplished something that they were keep on failing on. But on a screen, when you're just trying to get on a level in a video game, that's not going to do anything in the
There's
real
like
world.
less risk.
It's just a mental dopamine. Like you said, it's just a mental dopamine. Oh, I'm accomplishing something, but then you go in the real world and you fail miserably to the point where you know you're a failure because you've never challenged yourself in reality. You've challenged yourself.
It's like
in
you
a-
can't
These kids
respawn.
grow
You can't
up in the
respawn
meta
anymore.
world. Even
You're
if they're
done.
not in the
Yeah.
actual VR meta world, these kids are in the meta world.
Right.
Where there's a whole different situation than when we were children right now, bro.
Yeah.
So
It's
do
wild.
I'm glad you mentioned that
Yeah.
because I put one of the boys I trained through like an obstacle course on like
Yeah.
that playground,
Good.
and you see like the rock. There was like a rock wall at the playground, like where he gets up to like the top floor and stuff like that. And the one kid, he
This is 11 and 12-year-old?
yeah, I was like, okay, we're running an obstacle course. I'm gonna time you, see how fast you can go up the rock wall and stuff like that. And there's one rock wall where you're just super, super afraid to go up there. And it was like for me, obviously, like I'm older. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, this is.
But for
just
him,
not-
it would be high
For here,
because of
it
his
just
height and
seems super.
everything.
He's like probably like half my height or something like that. So he's looking up. He's like, whoa, like this is a super high thing. And so we went up all the way to the top. I told him to sit on the edge and look over at the edge to kind of see. And he's like
Scared to
look
look
down
down.
like that. And so when we attempted to climb up it, he was kind of like he was literally 3/4 of the way there. All he had to do was move his feet twice and his arms twice.
froze up.
And he just he's like, no, I'm not gonna do it. And I kept trying to hype him up and stuff like that. But then like he just freezes. And we had another instance with that same kid. You guys know what like a box jump is? So there was this
Yeah,
box
when you
jump
stack the
where
boxes
there
up.
was like an 18-inch box jump. It's like a foot and a half.
6 inches.
It's a foot and a half. And he was afraid to jump up on it. And you would think like he can do the 12, he can do the 1 foot box jump, but the 6 inches more, he's just so afraid to fall because in the past he actually fell from like one of those before and like hit his head and like it hurt and stuff like that. And so
you're helping him through a trauma if you get him up
Yeah.
on that box.
And so there's two things that we do, and this is real. Like this stuff is like real, like almost like fear that you almost need to conquer and stuff like
Absolutely.
that.
It's in
And
reality, yeah.
And so I say to him, when we come back here, we are gonna conquer this. Like, I don't care what you say, we're gonna do this and stuff.
Amen, yeah.
We can do other things as well, but it's the same thing with just like life. Like that thing is so real. Like you conquer the rock wall. Like it seems now when you conquer it, it's like it's fine now. But it's it's the same thing with like video games don't give you that, and I can even like some people would ask me be like, oh Mike, why don't you play video games anymore and stuff like that. I'm just like it just doesn't mean anything really, and
I try sometimes.
It's not
It just don't work
reality.
anymore, bro.
it doesn't feel like
I feel
anything
like
really.
I'm wasting time. I feel like no fulfills not the same like fun. Like you used to get like you put on a new game, you get like that feeling or something. You're like, yo, this is a dope game. It's like now I'm just like it's almost like we're talking how like when you know better, like ignorance is bliss. Like I know that I'm wasting my time and there's better things to do with my time, and I'm wasting.
And it's nowhere close to the
pure
reality.
life. Like time is everything, dude. It's the only commodity. You're only here for a certain amount of minutes in this lifetime. Am I sitting and shooting Hadoukens at some like
That
fat
don't matter.
sumo wrestler?
Yeah.
Can't do that.
Yeah,
I'd rather go play Street Fighter in real life and really get my block knocked off. I mean, not really, but really.
Yeah.
So something that I've always like would say that I stumbled in, even when it comes to Christ, is just like being like lazy, just being slothful, being like dragging my butt.
Yeah.
Like you know what I'm
Like
saying?
today?
Like for no reason. Like just for no reason. Yeah. Like I just get in these like little funks where I'm just like I just don't feel like moving. I'm just on my phone. I'm just completely dead. And there's literally so many things I could do. So I could literally think of anything to do, and like in my mind I'm just like, oh yeah, I have to think about what to do. I don't know what to do, and stuff like that. And like that's like a way. That's like it's like a little secret way that people like almost like stumble, because clearly you're being called. God's calling you and being like, hey, well, like you need to do these things, right? Like they're so much better than what you're doing now. And like I'm just like, nah, I'm good. Like stuff like that.
And every time you ignore it, the bigger it gets.
Yeah.
And the worse it's gonna make you feel.
Exactly.
Because, you know, you just ignored something that was about to change your perspective in your life.
Yeah. And I think one thing is that I tell people that that are like, you're in that like whole trap about like finding what's fun, finding just the next novelty thing in your life, what's new, what's fresh, what will make you like excited. I feel like there's two types of excitement. There's an excitement where of like novelty, where it's like fresh, it's new, and like that could go two ways. That could be like one way where you're just looking for that same feeling over and over and over, that feeling of like restarting, or you're genuinely just like starting like a new challenge, right? And you're gonna like stick with it. There's like two ways it can go, and there's that, and there's the other way where it's like you're trying something. Like you can either try something new to either make you just feel that
you can make it, like you can conquer it almost.
Yeah, like, you know, I'm trying to say that there's two ways. Like, there's one way where you just trying to feel that feeling of newness and freshness, and there's the other way where it's like you don't actually value the newness. You value just like what you're gonna get out of that process in a way.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I know what
So
you're
it's like
talking about.
you shouldn't really chase. It's not about what's fun. It's not about what excites you. It's about because those feel, if you get those things first in the beginning, it's gonna be empty following through versus
something that actually interests you.
Something that like you actually do it, it's like kind of sucks. You get fulfilled by it. You get like a different type of excitement.
I know the quote for what you're trying to say.
What is it?
It's
What's the quote?
It's don't live for the results, live for the process.
Yeah, but it's hard to do that. So
Right
I mean,
very hard.
How do we talk about that
But
too?
and
Because
so many people live for the results.
because I'll tell you what, right? Ever since finding Christ, it's like we're not here for the results, right? Like it is because Christ saves, right? Christ ultimately
We already
bring.
got the results. We already got the gift.
Yeah, and it's not
Now we're
us.
in the process.
That's not us being cocky. Like we've already talked about this, right? It's not nothing. Like there's nothing I could do, and so I had this result. So it's just like now I'm here on earth. I'm like, what do I do now, right? And so you're forced when you follow Christ. You're forced to follow a journey, to be on that path in the middle. You're forced to. Like there's nothing that you could do. Even if you went away from Christ, you're one of His sheep. Guess what? Yeah. He's going to come pick you up regardless. Is the one sheep that walks away out of the 99, guess what? He's going to come and save you.
Yep.
So once you're in, right? That's what I kind of feel like when it comes to Christianity.
He's gonna wrangle you back no matter what.
Because even the people who like say they fell out and stuff like that, like some of those people, I feel like they've never even like had faith in the first place. But if you had faith and like you're like stumbling a lot, like you're almost turning away, I bet you get the call. I bet you always get that call still, regardless. And that's like your shepherd calling for you.
Yeah. The only thing is you can't ignore the voice of the shepherd. Otherwise, you're just going to keep on walking
lost.
away.
You're going to be lost without a shepherd.
Exactly. So I think the point is when we get those calls, I guess the rule can apply is you ignore it once, but never ignore it twice. You know what I mean? Like there's only so many mistakes you can make. But
though, because it's like even somebody, because this is how I'm looking at it, right? Like from a perspective of the character of Christ, like. Look, somebody can not be a believer almost, but that person is getting calls every single day, probably. For sure. You know what I mean? But if that guy keeps on ignoring it, I mean, it's going to be bad for him. He's the one making the choice. I think that could be same thing with a believer. I mean, listen, if you're going to keep on getting away from it and then you're just going to keep on ignoring those calls, it's going to be very, very bad for you. You know what I mean? You cannot just go based off of like this thing already happened, like one time event type of thing, and not follow the process that's necessary for your own spiritual strengths, right? You can easily lose that spiritual strength. Now, how bad can you get to the point now that you start going to this rabbit hole? Because of you ignore those calls, just the same way maybe unbeliever also ignore the calls. That's for me. That's more realistic than just saying, listen, this one-time event thing helped me so much that no matter what happens, I'll still hear that voice. But if you got to think about it from a realistic point, that's not how things work. I mean, if you let your mind slip one thing, there's going to be other things that you're going to also slip from. Exactly. And devil can use that against you because he saw you slip one thing He was gonna keep on bringing things for you to
Knows
slip,
what your
slip, slip,
weakness
slip,
is. He knows what
and
your
you're gonna go
weakness is.
down. You're gonna
He'll
go
feed
down.
it to
It's gonna be
you.
so
Right,
hard
that's
to get
why
up.
you shouldn't constantly just keep on ignoring things that are actually useful and hard in the moment rather than something that is pleasurable in the moment but leads to death. And that's
Yeah,
usually what
right.
it seems like what we've been saying for the past 20 minutes is what our society has been, I guess, pushing out to people is that destruction, that slow but painful destruction, bro. That slow and spiritual destruction that people are not even understanding and can't even comprehend how they've been so unsocial, how distant, how unspiritual, how unfearing to God and who He really is. Like, people don't even have any type of fear anymore, that when you tell them that, you know, God exists and you're sinning and you're doing this and what do you think about your actions, they think they live in a world of bubble where not even God can get through and punish you. That's how bad it gets, bro.
That's wild.
That's how delusional things get because of propaganda and social media, obviously the news and
Everything's convoluted, bro.
abundance huge.
Like, another way I would put it is like, you know, like as a Christian, you know, you'd like to think about these things and kind of almost unpack it to its fullest, like, deepness. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like the character of Christ and
Yeah.
all these things that you know you like to take it not just on a basic level, right? So like, I think that it's like a gift, right? It's a gift that is almost like able to be received by everybody. Now the question now is, how bad do you want that gift, right? Do you want to just say, I believe that it's there and you can see it? Because let's be honest, a lot of people saw that Christ died for everybody's sake.
Yeah.
They knew that man was innocent, but there was a reason why he died. A lot of people saw that. A lot of people still, till this day, probably still believe it. There's that hard part where it's, how bad do you want that gift? Do you even want to accept that gift? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what it really comes down to. Now, that's something that you can only do that with your own heart. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I don't want it with my heart, like, I'm sorry, but it's not going to be like just grabbing it. You're not going to just grab it. If you don't want it, it's not going to be like
It'd be the
just
hardest thing that you've
received
ever
type of
done
thing.
in your life. It's
'Cause it's already
painful. It's
Yeah, it's like-
painful to do.
It's like it's already given to everybody. Now it's
Very
a matter of, do you want to take it or not? You know what I mean?
It's painful to face your demons, bro. It's painful to
Yeah.
face the things that you don't want to face and because you
It takes a lot of work too, to be
Yeah,
honest. It
it
takes a
does.
lot of work.
It takes a lot of identifying. It takes a lot of coming to peace with, and it takes a lot of spiritual sword swings.
Yeah, for sure.
Christian, can you look at the phone real quick? Sorry. You just like, just see if it's on? Sorry about it.
He just turned it on and click the camera and play, right? Or no? Does he have to go to OBS?
No, I think it's dead.
Oh,
Yeah, it's fine.
so is
Seems
that
not to be
not charging it
reactive.
or something?
So here's the thing with that. It's that it doesn't charge as fast as as a battery does.
Dies? Okay, yeah.
So that's why.
That's an old guy.
We just need a
Old
better
battery.
charger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get one of the 5 and below. Get a battery pack on that.
With all of it that we talked about, Christian,
Yeah.
how should a young Christian navigate today's world of social media, identity confusion, and spiritual apathy?
How should a young Christian traverse today's world?
Navigate today's world on social
Yeah.
media, identity confusion, and spiritual apathy.
On social, I would say, I would probably have a different answer than ones of your age. I would say,
Yeah.
just don't be on the shit, or don't be on the stuff. Don't be on social media. It's not good
Bro,
for
it's
you.
really that
Especially-
simple sometimes. And that's
Especially
true.
maybe only start social media when you're planning on starting your true professional life, and don't make
Amen.
like yourself a thing. Make your business a thing.
Dude.
Make your operation or your service a thing. Don't make yourself. People need to. OnlyFans is the biggest proponent of this, but we need to stop monetizing
Monetizing sin?
monetizing sin and commoditizing human flesh and commoditizing commoditizing sin like
Yeah.
just
It's like, if you think
a
about it, it's the
woman on
people that help
OnlyFans
that.
should be someone's wife and mother, you know what I mean, and sometimes is. which is even worse.
Dude, think about how much more chaotic it is nowadays when it comes to when it comes to the spread of sin and misinformation. Let's talk about it again, let's just say 50, 100 years ago, right? All the information that you had was maybe what? The newspaper, your group, your city, the people in your area. That's it. That's really it. You don't know what's happening across the world. You don't know about this OnlyFans chick in like some country. Like you don't know these things, and so the information is super low. And it's like I feel like it would almost say like it's easier to like stay on the right track because you have people to kind of keep you accountable. Versus this, where it's like there's so much just like individualistic nations, right? Like what we said, but it's just there's so much chaos.
Yeah, it's like a separation of people.
Who was on the back of the seven-headed beast in Revelation?
I don't know. Satan, the devil,
the whore of Babylon.
The whore
of Babylon.
Is that biblical?
Yeah.
I think it does say something like that.
So like Sodom and Gomorrah.
When society
type of thing, right?
is finally near crumble, near the end, sexual promiscuity and sexual deviance and perversion are prominent. Mm-hmm. That's all I have to say. Look at Roman times. Look at Spartans. Look at now.
Yeah.
Look at Sodom and Gomorrah.
But it's
look at it.
It's so different to think about, right?
And if you looked back at it, you turn to ash, bro. So don't look at it. Don't look at it.
Bro, think about though. It's like back then though, if you lived in, let's just say like Rome or like a place where there's a lot of sin, there is a lot of that stuff. It's like it's harder to get out of that versus nowadays where you just put your phone down.
Yeah.
Right. But it's just like.
But then you have people around you that talk about that stuff. So now you have to kind of detach yourself and not accompany them. Don't be around those people and change them, but do not accompany them. Do not be doing what they do. Yeah. And make it look okay.
Dude, you know how evil twerking is?
So you would argue it's easier nowadays?
No.
Oh, it's not.
I'd say it does. It just depends on the situation. Like, for example, if someone's on their phone, it's easier to get like hit from all angles, but it's also easier to like put your phone down and get away with it. Versus back then, where it's like it's easy to not get hit from all angles depending on where you're at.
Yeah. So back then it was more like physical, because people were around you at that time. So you kind of had to get away with it. Now it's more of like a.
But now we've unlocked the digital realm, a new realm where we're getting hit from all angles.
Dude,
like you have to be stronger in mind now to like literally put your phone down.
Crazy.
You know what I mean? You have to be stronger in mind.
Absolutely. I'm so happy that I can just forget about my phone. I literally just forget about it.
Do I even have a phone?
I don't know.
We must learn how to traverse the digital realm. It's a new place where we need to learn how to navigate.
And we have to navigate it.
I don't know how to navigate this world, bro.
We have to navigate it justly, not navigate it, perversely and willy-nilly. You don't want to be willy-nilly with it, bro. Yeah. If you willy-nilly, you're everywhere. And if you're everywhere, you're not focused. And
nowhere.
If you're focused,
if you're everywhere, you're nowhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Yo, I just searched this up. Apparently, there are two distinct symbolic entities, although she's the one that is sitting on the beast with 7 heads. So, the 7-headed beast is described in Revelation 13 and 17 as a powerful political entity, a global system that embodies satanic influence and opposes God. It has been interpreted as representing powerful empire or governmental authorities throughout history, or potentially a future end-time kingdom led by the Antichrist. The 7 heads are often interpreted as representing 7 kings or kingdoms, 5 of which have fallen. One that exists in John's time and one that is yet to come. And the whore of the Babylon, sorry, I'm just going to finish this. The whore of the Babylon is described in Revelation 13 as a woman sitting on the 7-headed beast, adorned in luxurious clothing.
Her, does it not?
What is it?
Does it swallow her?
1 second, I don't know. She's depicted as a symbol of spiritual corruption and idolatry, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication. Yeah, or spiritual adultery. She's also described as being drunk with the blood of the saints.
Yep.
Yeah, these are like the dark stuff. It's like the combination of the two that go well together in the sin. So like a woman is one thing that, and I always say this, I think for men, one of the easiest sin to commit is lust. I think that's the biggest, the easiest, and the most practical.
You can do it in a moment without even noticing. A girl walks by and you go, oh.
Right. There's that feeling and there's that drive because it's very natural.
Jiggly, bro,
it's very
hard.
It's very biological.
Very.
So it's hard to ignore that, but that's when you need to be spiritually depth person with strength in Christ, that there's a bigger purpose to you outside of just chasing that feeling, even though you don't even know
Isn't
that
it
person. So you're just
crazy
chasing your
how
feelings.
Before you're spiritual, sin is magnetic, and then after you start to realize the deep nature of sin and just how bad you want to stay away from it, then it's like the opposite of, and then it's polarizing away. Like your like sin feels so natural and good before you have the principles of God in you, and then afterward, you're repulsed, and it's very crazy.
Yeah, of course.
Do you guys see, like, for example, because when I see some of these stuff in Revelation, I for some reason, dude, there's this, I connect it to today's political power. Like the Elon Musk and Trump together in the power.
Yeah.
I don't know, for some reason, I see that very similarity in the revelation that he's talking about. This isn't to say that we're close to end times, but this isn't also to say that we're too far from it. Because, look, in my honest opinion, and I hope that I'm wrong, they're both ungodly men, unfearing of God, and thinking in their power, and at the end of the day, making themselves to look as powerful as possible in people's eyes, right? So I think they are both chasing that power
to get to people's vulnerability.
Exactly, yeah, because they're both, making this impact in the world that's going to be so positive. Like Elon Musk has dedicated all his life to building something that's so great, has taken people to Mars and stuff. But then when you think about it,
He's trying
just a
to.
simple answer, you don't need to go to Mars.
Yeah.
You don't need to go to Mars. Look at Earth. Earth has enough issues that you can work on. You don't need to go to Mars. Besides, if there was life on on Mars, God would have said it. And we would probably, in fact, be there. So I truly believe that Earth is the only place that life exists. And that's why we're here. Otherwise,
Unless,
I think God would have created...
Unless the rich know something we don't know about, and they really need to go to Mars, and this Earth got a lifespan on it. But that's
that's
here nor there.
Christian, this is where it gets interesting. Is the Bible in the Revelation talks about the end times of destroying the earth that we live on now, which is the sinful earth, and then rebirthing it into the earth that God intended it to be. So there's no need for them, even with whatever power they have, to know that earth is coming to an end, because it doesn't matter. It will still come to an end.
They're not in
it will be
control of that.
Do you
rebirthed.
think Elon reads that and thinks he's the usher to mankind to the new world? He's like, I need to be the man to get us to this new Earth.
I don't know. I just think that
That's hilarious.
there could be
No, I think they're just probably lying, bro.
there could be a
Perhaps
spiritual. I think there just could be a spiritual darkness that has to do with chasing the power and really wanting to influence people to the point where they feel like
Influence.
from people they are going to save the world, and they like that praisal, they like that reliance on the shoulders that people are relied on, saying, Elon Musk is the man who will grant us this new life on a different planet. And that is replacing God. That is what the Revelation was talking about.
Kind of changing the
rejecting
message.
God.
The government
Putting it
is
on
your
themselves.
daddy,
Because who's
not
the
the
only one that
father.
can give life?
The government is your daddy.
Government is my.
The government is your father. Not
Isn't it
the
interesting?
father.
They say like they can.
The devil is their father, if that's the case.
The devil is your daddy. That's why I always say that to people. It really throws
Devil
them
ain't
off
my
too.
daddy.
Like,
Yeah,
if they're
yeah.
just being evil, I'd be like, yo, the devil is your daddy. And they'll be like, say it to people that are wicked. And
Because,
it'll
look,
throw them off. It'll make
you
them
either
smile
serve God.
or throw them off.
You either serve God or you serve devil. I
Devil is
think
your
there's
daddy.
there's no in between. That's why when the Bible talks about being a lukewarm and stuff, and God says, "I will spit you out of my mouth," it literally symbolizes that exact thing. Is you can't be in between where you're saying I'm a child of both. You're really a child of one or the other. Because look, it's really that simple. Is if you have a relationship with God and you live with God, you see devil as your enemy because God sees that he is trying to take you away from him.
Yep.
So imagine you're next to your father, right?
Trying
And
to
there's
see
that person that's trying to take away from your dad, and you see that it's so evident. The only time you see that as evident is when you know that somebody is so hateful towards your dad that he's willing to take away that love that he has for you. I mean, look at the movies, look at the novels that authors write many times with one of the biggest manipulation and the biggest challenge they throw at the main character in a movie is when they take away the biggest possession of a parent, which is their child. Yep. That is one thing that they know that the parent will do anything and everything to get them back, and that's what Jesus Christ did on the cross, and that's why we have that hope, that great hope of relying on Him. You know what I mean? And that's what we need to stick to, in my opinion, with the harsh world that we live in today.
Beautiful thing, my brother.
And we can hold on to that. It's if we lost everything and we had to fall back, would we be in peace? And I feel like if we had to ask that specific question to every single person on, okay, if you had to lose every single thing in this world, starting from the best to the worst in your life, everything that you have, where would you be and who would you have and what would you have? If they say, well, obviously nothing, that's when you know their spiritual relationship with God.
Right.
Because there's no way you lose that perspective when you have a relationship with God, because you know that if you lose everything, He's there because He was there from the beginning. But if you don't have that relationship, you know that this is the world that you are clinging onto and you can't let go.
Be still and know that I am
God. Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. There's just a lot of wisdom like that. I searched up if the whore was swallowed by the beast. That's interesting. What Revelation beast, the 10 horns is possessed, will turn against the whore of Babylon. So the beast will turn against her.
Told you, he swallowed her.
And making her desolate.
After she swallowed him.
Making her desolate and naked, devouring her flesh and burning her with fire.
Don't cut that.
This signifies a destructive reversal in their alliances. So they even go against each other. So they're not even allied.
No honor among thieves, bro.
Yeah.
Come on.
They're both thieves.
Evil don't.
In essence, the
there's
beast
no
which
alliances in evil.
Seem to support or be associated with the whore of Babylon ultimately participates in her downfall and destruction. Yeah, I mean, you can see that darkness of envy and not real love at all. It's just the use of power, and they're just complementary at some point, and then at a different point when they see the weaknesses, they take every single opportunity they get to take advantage of that, and you see the evil playing out in their relationship.
And this wraps back all the way to the very first question you asked me about like being a Christian and me saying it's about unconditional love. All of these things, the beast, the governmental stuff, what it represents, the whore of Babylon, all comes from when the love dissipates and fear is injected into the world. And when there's too much fear and too much suffering and not enough people know the good news of the reprieve, these things happen. Because this is a fallen world and we're always going to go towards the end of that book. No matter what society we're in, even if it falls, it's gonna come back up and it's gonna happen. Life is a circle.
Because it's the darkest. It's the darkest book, and with the most darkness, because that's when the biggest darkness will be, I guess, revealed to mankind, and that's when it will be, I guess, unleashed into. Okay, if we think, okay, what is the worst place we can be in, or what's the worst situation that can ever play out? I mean,
it's the culmination of human sin. It's just the culmination of sinners.
All the evil that you can think of, it's always happening at once.
It's the end result. It's the culmination of human nature, which is even really the scarier way to think about it, because if you don't lift yourself out of your lower natural animalistic natures, which is the vibrations we're sort of coming to this world in, then you end up that way.
You know, and there's more than that too, is not just the human nature, not just mere human nature, but you see that there's a possession of devil right there.
Absolutely.
With these people, it's not just trying to, be close to God, but then they're confused on whether how to go about it, or they just don't know how to. But they want it, but they're still holding on to their sin. Like what you see with these characters is that they have completely made that decision on 360 against God, and they're just somehow deluded to think that they can do something to overthrow the kingdom. You know, like what happened with angels is even Satan. He went against God thinking that he was going to be at his place somehow. Absolutely. He, kicked him out of the heavens, and apparently he had his army with him too that tried to rebel against God and his creation. And these people have...
They all fell.
They
fell.
And then, they all fell, and then the book of Enoch happened.
And now they're so resentful that they're just saying... Because they know. They must have known, and they do know, according to the scripture. And what it says is they know that there's nothing they can do. Like, we have hope, and that is the hope in gospel. Is any human being that is still on earth until the end times has to know this one thing, is that no matter where you go, no matter how far you go from God, there's still that hope in Jesus Christ. But for them, that's the thing. That's the darkness. That is the love, is that they have no hope. And they are the ones that are trying to deceive you with no hope.
Yep.
Because they have no hope. It's not that you shouldn't have hope.
Because their
they
foundations were built in sand.
Yeah.
And when you're with God, your foundation's built on rock.
Right.
And you can't shake a foundation built on rock. But the devil knows when you done built your shanty town on sand, he'll come through the whole thing and start shaking it. And he
it's
loves
just gonna
it
fall.
as he laughs maniacally. Loves it. Laughs maniacally with a huge red bone and just going, ruining your lives.
Yeah, and you see that play out too. Christian, one last question that I want to ask you to wrap up this episode is, this is a big one too with judgment, right? So how should Christians judge in a way where it's not going to be judgmental as what is for God? Because one of the interesting things that I found with Bible when I was starting, because I read King James Version, right? So in the Bible, when there's a Bible study, the pastor reads justice in there. Yeah. But on my Bible, I see judgment.
Yeah.
So and this is interesting, is when it talks about judgment that has to do with God, the replacement word is justice. So his judgment is justice, right? So that's why when people ask tough questions like, oh, why did he have to punish Sodom and Gomorrah? Why did he have to destroy all these armies that were going against Israel, blah, 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 blah. You see that his judgment is justice.
Yeah.
So you could never comprehend his judgment because it's justice, because you don't know what justice is. Nope. He does. You know the earthly justice, which is prejudice and bias.
No one knows what divine justice is.
Right.
They have an idea of what
love.
it might be.
And
exactly.
That's
love
justice.
and understanding.
And understanding, exactly.
Unconditional love.
He has the perspective that, I mean, we it's like we have that hope and it's good. We have that hope in humanity that, okay, one day, by the grace of God, they will turn to God. And that's why we pray for them.
But do you think you can judge someone justly, Sadullah?
However, God knows the perspective. And that's why he chooses and he makes the decisions in the book that he does with these people. Yeah. And the second one that I'm talking about, like the judgment, is I think that's where Jesus was talking to people and teaching us our judgment. Is when we judge, we have to judge with love, not with authority.
Exactly.
Because we're not in the authority to judge.
Exactly.
Because vengeance is God's. Ours is to
there's only
judge
one,
with love.
Ultimate authority to judge,
right.
and that is God.
Right.
But I've never been one to judge. I either, like I said, if I either am showing compassion or relating. You know what I mean? I try not to judge because I either been there and I feel for it,
right, or
I'm showing compassion because I can understand, or I'm relating to you because you're where I need to be.
Right.
That's about it. So I'm not going to judge you. I'm going to be doing probably one of those three things.
But in a world where you see somebody actually deliberately walking into sin, and they tell you, hey, Christian, I know you're telling me this is a sin.
Yeah.
But dude, it's not a sin.
I say, keep it up. Keep it up, bud.
Right.
Good job.
But in a world where there's such softness and everybody wants to hear what they want to hear, but nothing harsh. But look, that's the thing, is the truth is harsh. Yeah. It is hard.
The blunt
because
truth.
It's the truth that there will be a day where you will face God's wrath
Yeah.
and you will be destroyed
But
because you have not repented and you have not believed the one who can save you from that wrath.
You've not
So
accepted
now,
the gift.
now
that's
you're
when- that's
because
when
you
hope
rejected
got
the
someone
gift.
praying for your soul.
Right. So in a world with so much softness, how do we mix up that love of the gospel, as well as the hard truth? Because people miss out on the hard truth.
Yeah.
People share love.
Yeah.
Because love is something that everybody will understand when they see it. But a lot of people won't see the love coming from judgment of the truth.
Right.
That it's about to come and it will happen. Whether you believe it or not, it will happen. So how do we go about that in a better way?
I don't know. A lot of people mask judgment, like real hateful judgment, with love. They're like, "Oh, I'm telling you this out of love," and then they'll say like some hateful judgment at you, which is a funny thing. But
For example, how would they do that?
blum 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 blum.
Like hypocrisy?
Small- hypocrisy is
Could
different.
be one of them.
Yeah, but it was pretty self-explanatory, that. But like, even like, say, cut that. Cut that.
No, if you want me to give you a little bit more context,
I definitely need a little more context. I just fell out of my point.
it's all good, bro.
I fell out of my point,
What do you
bro.
gentlemen think?
I lost my train
Do you
of
understand?
thought,
Do you understand what I'm
Cameron.
asking, or were you listening, Mikey?
Can you ask it again?
Yeah, we all zoned, bro.
I think you kind of literally explained it.
Yeah, like when you ask a question, sometimes you actually explain it yourself.
What?
Yeah, and all I can say is I agree.
I was just about to be like, "Yup."
Fair.
No, you
So
ask,
you do know what I
What
asked.
happens is like you ask the question, you be like you ask it, and you're like because of, and then you answer it when you say because.
Yeah, because I was trying to put in perspective on how
No,
it
I
how it kind of happens
Yeah.
in today's society, and like
I'm usually catching what y'all are trying to say, but I just
yeah.
Because like the way
It
I'm
happens.
trying to I guess see it is just the same way a human has judgment is the same way a human also has justice, right? They can like almost differentiate those two things just the same way.
Yeah.
You are when you're what's it called, even when you're a kid, you can still distinguish between good and bad.
Yeah.
You can still differentiate those two things. Now you have to be honest with yourself and understand that I'm either judging somebody because I just probably have something towards them, or I'm actually justly telling them like this is how it is. This is, if anything, this is gonna affect you, not me, because I know this. Like this isn't really affecting me, meaning I'm not the one kind of struggling with this, but I see you struggling with it,
Yeah.
and I know that I can help you because nobody's obviously pointing this out to you.
Yeah.
At least that you know of. Like if I know that somebody has pointed out 100 times to this person, like I'll be honest, it's a waste of time. I know this person has heard it 100 times. But
means
if I
they're not
know
trying to
if
hear
I know
it.
that person hasn't heard it maybe a way that needs to be said, like if I'm in a situation where this person, I've told this person like 100 times something, and like he knows
Yeah.
my message, but if there's gonna be a situation, I'm not gonna explain it to him, like I'm not gonna give him that judgment. I'm just gonna say, like I'm gonna point this out, like let's just say he does something but he doesn't learn from it. I'm just gonna point it out, like I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm just gonna see, you see what happened, I'm just gonna leave it there.
Yeah.
He's gonna start thinking about it. I don't need to like always explain it. That's what I would call
Yeah,
justice.
now that I'm thinking back, I literally did answer my question. I
good, bro.
did.
Yeah, thank you for
Oh,
answering.
I don't know about that.
That's the best way.
Yeah, maybe.
You gave me a good answer, bro.
Because
I like
now
it.
you don't have to. Now you don't have
You
to
gave
think
me
about it.
such a good question that I was stumped. You gave me such a good
Yo,
question.
yo,
and
Christian,
answer.
that's
You
a
stumped
positive
me,
thing,
bro.
right?
Yeah,
I love
Christian.
it.
He was the Google search for you.
Yeah,
you know
you
what
just
I mean?
AI'd me, bro.
Like
Relax.
Did I pay my way to be up there or no?
I liked it.
he gave you the
I'll start
answer.
trusting you, and then you can deceive me.
Christian
No.
culture, right?
Yeah.
Yo, do we have a question from Cole last time, or did we not ask him?
No,
we
we didn't
for
ask
the
him,
next
but we
guest.
do have a question from
It's
Fred,
cold
right?
world.
No,
We do.
it's in your notebook, I think.
You think so?
world.
I know so.
Cold world.
We're gonna have to see.
Amen,
this,
brother. Dude, it's getting hot in here, right?
Go hot.
Yeah. I think
Gosh,
when we
what
hit
the heck does
a
that say?
2-hour mark or like 1 hour 30 minutes.
It's steamy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
The
good.
lights- the lights do
we're
that.
having a very, we're having a heated
This is about
The Holy Spirit
microphones, right?
is working through us in this room,
No.
and He brings the fire,
Holy
the burning
Spirit
bush.
I think this is
working
the
so
question.
hard
Glory
When
to
you
God.
die and go to heaven, who would you go to besides Jesus?
Physical heat.
Yeah, bro. No,
Oh,
that's
a go-to.
yeah.
Who would you
No,
go to?
chemistry,
Yeah.
bro. Chemistry.
That's a good question. I get it. I get it.
Friction.
Yeah, ready?
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
Yo,
Give
you
me
better
this.
be ready.
I ain't never
Put that
ready.
armor of God.
Give me this. All right, ready? So, Fred, you know Fred
Sure.
from the
our
church?
Freddy Krueger?
He talked to those. He was talking to them today at church.
With Fred.
Ponytail,
that
you saw him
yes,
today? Yeah.
I do, yes.
So
I met him
Fred's
today.
gonna ask you. He says, when you die and go to heaven, who would you go to besides Jesus and talk to them about?
Ooh.
Who would I go to?
I think about this question is like it has to be someone like that you like kind of know would be saved.
Well,
Not everyone goes to heaven.
yeah.
So I think he asked the question on
There's
biblical
a lot
characters.
of there's an assumption.
Well, that
in there,
too.
Yeah.
That too or that?
Both.
Okay, maybe.
I would say both, right? Oh, because in my mind it was kind of like both.
Okay, from a biblical characters, who would you ask besides Jesus?
Wait,
Keep it simple.
it's a biblical character?
It's not specific.
Answer both. Answer both.
All right, so anybody ever, and then a biblical character.
Yeah.
Anybody ever, I would probably. You ever hear in the Bible they say that like when you're in heaven, your manifestation there is like you in the prime of your life. You,
Okay.
Like the most healthy and prime. Usually they'd say
Right.
like in your early 30s, like you're in heaven. Like I've heard that before
Okay.
from pastor stuff. Like
I don't know.
out of Calvary, I've heard that before.
Oh,
But
gosh.
so you're in your best representation of your life, like when you like feel the best, look the best, whatever. So I would really
Also
like
depends
to,
when you've been saved and when you've been walking with the Lord.
So I'd be
But-
that could have factors. Is a good factor.
Answer.
Yo, listen. Listen. I would probably go find like my great grandfather or something and just meet him as like a young man as myself and like just speak about like my family. and
Maybe you
stuff.
can talk to all
But-
versions of him.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You never know. Yeah. I
See,
would,
that's why that
or
part
I
is
would wanna-
tricky.
yeah.
I don't think Fred asked that whatsoever because we will never know, right?
That's a very.
We can have confidence. We will never know.
Okay.
So I think what Fred asked is what we do know is the characters from the Bible who went to heaven, who were his prophets.
Okay.
Because that's who you would have the most questions to. Because look,
that's what I'm
these
saying.
people have just, gone through a lot. Like I think we think we're going through something. Like look at them, what they went through, what they had to defend.
I would ask Saint Peter if he's mad that the.
Mike.
I would ask Saint Peter if they're mad that they turned him into a cotton-tailed rabbit for Easter.
Bro, what are you talking about?
Cotton-tailed
Saint
rabbit.
Peter, they say Saint Peter. Here comes Peter Cottontail hopping down the rabbit trail. Saint Peter.
Nah, bro, seriously. Why did they do
I
that?
don't know.
Why did they do
I just
that?
always thought it was funny.
I don't know what you're
Because
talking
it was
about.
it's a cult blasphemy, so I shouldn't really be talking about it. But
And this
it's paganism.
he's
It's
a
paganism
jokester
warping
side.
our religion. But I just would ask. I'd be like, does that ever bother you? He'd be like, no, dude, I'm up in heaven. I don't even think about that. That's probably what he would say to me. But
You just answered the question.
I just answered my own question, bro.
Yeah?
But I would probably. I would probably look for one of the oldest angels that's still there. That was like Lucifer's boy. I'd be like, tell me about Lucifer when he was an angel and what made him fall. Like,
Okay.
it just seems very
Like,
interesting.
maybe like Michael
tell
or
me,
someone.
tell me about him.
I like how he said
in his
he used to be
pureness.
his boy.
Yeah, like Lucifer's like best boy
Yeah,
before he like reached
Like
adolescence. and
Archangel
got all
Michael or
crazy.
something like that.
Yeah, probably would be Archangel Michael. He's
What was
like,
it like a step on his throat?
he was just like, listen, I didn't want to
Yeah.
kill him. I didn't want to take him out. He was my bud.
He's like, the Lord said so. So I.
But
that's
we
a good-
serve two different kingdoms, so I had to do it.
You had to put it through him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better answer than the first one,
Yeah.
for sure.
I was just, spitballing.
Yeah. You goofball.
I kept it so serious this whole podcast, guys. I'm a comedian. Leave me alone.
Yeah. And look, I gotta give you your flowers for that because I think you're getting better at that. I think that you're
it's out of
becoming a little bit
respect.
more aware.
It's out of respect for
Yeah.
you guys because I see what you're doing and like you've been really doing this podcast for a long time and you put a lot of like time and effort in it and I really respect it. So that's the reason. And it's
It is what it
even
is.
respect for myself. It's like I want to be funny. I go on a comedy podcast. I'm talking about God
Amen. Yeah.
with
yeah.
my homies, and that's good.
Yes, sir.
It's all love, unconditional.
Oh, word.
Yes, sir.
Say this: judgmental / justice love.
Judgmental justice, love.
Yeah, because when you judge, you're
I
like,
almost made a joke.
now you're just playing with me.
You see my brain.
You understand
now
what I mean.
Now my brain's starting to turn its gears.
Yeah, we've been.
Wait, now he has to ask questions.
We should.
Can you ask a question for our next guest,
I
please?
absolutely can, guys. Let me think a second.
On the page you wrote notes. For today.
Where did that page go?
Where'd it go?
Snap me out.
Wake
bro.
up! Make somebody think, bro.
Camera's on you.
That's what I'm
You got
trying. I'm trying. You're gonna have to edit. You're gonna have to edit out the stink time. By the way.
Nah.
Oh yeah, you just made me look like a friggin' stuttering idiot. That's fine too.
Okay,
No.
stop getting distracted. Right?
Or a deep thinker that wants to ask a deep
I know.
question.
I'm trying to come up
not
with a
distracting.
brain buster. I'm not gonna lie.
Brain buster.
I want a little brain buster for the
Okay,
next
we're
fella.
Okay, you can
All right,
ask
ready?
something about the revolution.
So, if you were climbing a mountain of your own self-doubt, what would be the 3 things it's made out of?
Okay.
Wait, if you
Like
were
why you doubt
climbing the
yourself?
mountain of what?
If you're climbing up a mountain of your own self-doubt,
Wait. Of your own self-doubt.
what would the 3 things it's made up of be? Like, so your top 3 self-doubts that stop you from prospering.
What would the 3...
Self-doubts.
No. What would the 3 things be?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll write it for you.
Okay.
That's a deep one. It's a deep one.
It's something.
Good stuff.
It's something.
Yes, sir. All right. Christian culture.
Yo, I was gonna think like we asked the guests which one they want, which color they want. That would be like more. But now
You
that you
already
picked out,
pulled
it's
out.
fine.
What? This is gonna be good. Do you feel like you know why you're here on Earth? What do you think your purpose is?
Bro, we had this. Yeah, we did. Alright, bro.
No,
never
I'm
had.
constantly
I know that.
confused about why I'm here or why anybody's really here. I mean, I think it's such a crazy thing. That's why having faith and deciding or just having faith helps with that because my brain is such an analytical brain that does not stop picking things apart if I'm wondering about it. And from a young age, I would wonder, like, why am I here? How does this work? And then you would hear, like, Darwinism and science and all this stuff, and none of it really makes sense. And though it's not a clear explanation through the Bible, it makes sense through my heart. And it makes more sense the more I study it and the more I fellowship with my people, my fellow Christians and my brothers in Christ. And it really is a fulfillment. So I feel as though if I can't find the answer to this, at least that gives me peace to the point where I don't need to think about it because I know that I'm just a soul going through a fallen world and I'm returning home at the end. Hopefully, if I do what I need to do.
Just serving God
Nice.
with people around you
Yeah.
who believe in the same thing and
But, like,
who are
But
striving
that question,
to
and if I didn't
go
have
to heaven.
God and to serve, and I didn't have these things to bring my brain at peace, that question would rip me apart every day. But it doesn't because I have that.
Amen. Glory to God,
Yes,
bro.
sir.
Quote of the
How'd you
day.
guys answer that? But that was for the guest.
It's different.
Quote of the day.
We have quote of the day for Christian Ferrari. We just have you reading things
Quote
on and
of
off.
the day. Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1.
Yeah, well,
Faith
Christian,
is the assurance of things
it's very hard to understand.
hoped for.
I had to search it up.
Now,
Conviction of things.
faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things
Ooh,
not seen.
this is deep. I think I get it.
Yo,
What do you think?
when you have someone
wait,
reading a quote off a board and you write it in marker and then kind of like go over something, just erase it and make it look nice. Because then I wrote the wrong word and I feel like a stupid. I read the wrong word the
It could
first
definitely
time.
be neater. I see that too because it's kind of like.
No, I wrote it like that on purpose so you would get actually confused.
Oh, he's
I
trying to
do that,
confuse you,
on
bro.
purpose.
I love you for that, bro.
Yeah.
You're always challenging.
Of course, bro. Now
Thank
talk it to the mic, please. Good.
Mic
What do you
check,
think that
1,
quote
2, 1,
means?
2.
Yeah, what do you actually think it means?
So now faith is the assurance of things hoped
Yeah, we can't hear you because you're not talking to the mic. My
Let
fault.
him cook, bro. Stop.
Break it down.
Stop.
That's the best thing I can tell you. Bro, get out of here.
It's okay not to know either.
Ready? Answer.
Well, so now faith is the assurance of things.
Mike,
hoped
Mike,
for.
please.
So if faith is the assurance, so I'm being assured to have the things that I hope for, and the conviction
Yo, can you
of
please
things not.
Tell him, bro.
So that means you know that this mic is catching me. You know you're being super neurotic about that, right?
No, bro, it's
catching
not.
me every time. I swear to God.
We,
No,
we
but I
have
can hear
PTSD.
it.
Things we have PTSD from
Bro,
another
I
episode.
can
about
hear
it,
you.
So
From the one episode at the house here. But so the conviction of things not seen. So
I mean,
it's pretty much you have to have faith, and not just you can't be. You have to have faith and not be tricked by your eyes. That's pretty much what I'm saying.
I think kind of the verse explains itself almost.
Yeah.
Faith is the assurance of things hoped for. It's like
But
they are assured. You're assured the things that you hope for. That is like
Okay,
faith.
Mike is on the right path. How about the other part?
Bible always make
The
a word
convic-
problem.
And then it says, I'm guessing it goes off of that and explains further. Faith is also the conviction of things not seen.
So what that means?
I don't
faith
see
is
the words.
the
in
things
there,
that-
the first one you got it right. Like
Yeah.
the first part. How about the after comma? What do you think that means?
The conviction of things not seen, that you're convicted that you can explain, you believe in something that which you can't see tangibly or physically.
Yeah. Mike
Man.
got it.
Amen.
Yeah, like this how
I like
said,
how you
faith-
simplified it too. Faith.
But-
Yeah, faith.
You
Just-
need
yeah,
to have
it's
faith.
about faith.
You need to focus on the faith in your soul and the faith in your gut, not what you see with the senses that you have in this fallen world.
Yeah.
You can't trust your senses. You need to trust your faith.
Amen.
Yeah, like faith is not this is what the explanation was because I couldn't understand it. Faith is not just wishful thinking, but a confident expectation and a certainty about things that are not yet physically present or visible. If you read the first part, that's what it is. It's kind of underlining. I think the big two words that are faith and assurance. Assurance is something that you're expected, something you're confident about, and you have faith that will happen. And then there's that the
Assured
conviction
is
you're
something
getting.
you're
You
promised.
can't see. Yeah.
If you're assured, you're promised this will happen.
Yeah, like, and you're confident that, like, this is a promise.
Yeah.
I'm confident this will happen. It's just not yet seen.
Shout out to Fred
Shout out to Hebrews.
Vandenberg 3567. Fred is our previous guest. Check out that episode, guys. You're gonna love it.
One of our
Oh, wait.
previous guests.
Yeah, one of our previous guests. Amen. The Holy Spirit is
Amen.
working in you. Heart emoji and a smiley emoji.
No,
I guess?
smile emoji,
Cool.
then heart emoji.
Yeah,
Yeah.
should have been specific.
You know,
right?
you know what
Yes.
emoji that is? The guy wearing glasses, and he goes
Oh, okay.
like the gangster type of.
Yeah,
emoji.
yeah.
Like a some. Okay.
You're never gonna take
Parentheses.
me, see, Copper? You're never
I
gonna
don't
take
think you
me,
would know
see?
because you have Android.
Meh.
Android's a bit different, mate.
I'm I'm an Android.
Good stuff, guys.
Shout out to Fred. Let me finish. I mean, the Holy Spirit is working in you. This was from the short video about wrestling with God. Amen. Thank you, Fred,
He
for this
didn't
comment.
put that. I put that in
Thank you,
parentheses
fam.
so we would know which
Oh,
video he
okay,
was
okay.
talking about.
Wonderful to be here.
He didn't put that. I put that in parentheses so we would know. He was basically talking about the video we made about wrestling with God.
Cool.
Because we touch up on the things that
No,
was very biblical.
you're the guest,
And
not the
listen-
producer. Yo, you're the guest, not the producer. Stay in your lane.
Hey, take 2.
All right, let's restart.
Run it
Let's
back.
Restart.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
Run it back.
Since you want to cut the last part, we have to restart the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I meant
That's how it works
I
with
meant
us.
just, like, end it now.
Yo, we actually appreciate you coming
Just
on.
out of
our
nowhere,
channel.
right?
Anytime,
It's always an
guys.
honor and
Anytime.
it's always interesting, man. You open up my brain cells for me to think.
Me
cells.
too. You really make me think, man. When you talk, you
Yeah.
have this energy that when you speak these
Wisdom.
words and that wisdom, and you really do, man. Like it's hard to notice sometimes that we are such different ages
Yeah.
because I think it's that spiritual
Connection.
youngness that we all have. You know,
Old
that
soul,
that
young
old soul, young
spirit, bro.
That's what we all have is that young
Absolutely
spirit,
that.
passionate spirit. And you know, when you speak, dude, it just makes me think. And there's no other place I want to be than here in this moment, having a conversation with you. So thank you for coming on, man, and thank you
all-
for being in our lives.
All comes from a genuine spot, my friend.
We gotta-
all
Amen.
the love in the world for you fellas and for all you people out there.
Love you
Yeah,
guys.
love you guys.
Unconditionally.
Unconditionally.
Feel me?
With that, think big.
Think big,
Grow big.
grow
Grow
big,
big.
big.